To revolve is to act in a cycle. To end up at the beginning with the hope that some form of experience or new ideas have emerged. We balance between what we already know and the fact that we have no knowledge of what we're about to discover. Why is it a revolution if to revolve is to end up in the same place? A revolving wheel never lands in the same place, constantly moving and changing. You can always stop a wheel, but its natural design is to keep going. For some, it's both freedom and control at the same time. Freedom to skate whatever and however their heart desires. Control over how they skate and what happens when they do. Depending on how you look at skating on quads, it has come back around and it's near impossible to know where it's going and where the wheels will land.
I've always been a skater. I grew up skating. You know, skating's been in my family. I started when I was about 5 years old, and just never stopped. You know, you grow up in the rink in the States, and for where we live at, everybody roller skated because we live in a rainy climate, so you don't have a lot of outdoor activities until the summertime. So everybody kind of roller skates.
I grew up in the 90s when rollerblading was a little more socially acceptable. And then I had a couple of people tell me I should try roller derby, and they didn't even know that I knew how to rollerblade. I had like 6 years off. I was almost 22, and I joined roller derby as a referee, and then kind of all evolved from there.
My name is Michelle Stylen, and in roller derby they call me Estrogen. And I've been skating since I was like 6 years old. My dad tried to force feed skateboarding down me and my sister's throats, and she was good and I was bad, and she was little and I was big, and it made me so mad that I couldn't skate with him. So I don't know, my dad had this idea. I would always beg for a trampoline to do flips in the backyard on, and I don't know, we were poor. He got me a pair of roller skates and I didn't want to take them off.
Way back when, I was probably 13, and just went to the rink with my friends. It was one of those things that everyone was just doing. So I strapped on skates, and I thought for a long time, how am I ever going to do this? I skated for hours and hours, like a 5-hour session. It took me that long to do one lap without falling, and I was just hooked. It was just always the challenge of getting to the next spot, whether it was skating a lap or playing competitive derby at this point.
But for me, skating has been a lifestyle. I grew up in Venice Beach. My father was a jam skater. So, I mean, we're talking 3, 4, 5 years old. I was skating before I was walking. So that was kind of a hotbed for roller skating. So I went from there, started surfing, skateboard, skate park, speed skate, you name it. I did pretty much every type of skating possible. I've always been passionate about having wheels on my feet. So moving from Southern California to Oregon was kind of a hard transition because it rains so much there. So it's what am I gonna do? So then I just hit the skating rinks, started jam skating a lot and stuff like that. So people were like, you should try roller derby. I was like, why would I do roller derby? I just like skating for fun. And then I tried it, that was super fun, and that kind of got me really excited about making that transition from skate park on my skateboard to quads.
So I waited till I was 21 to join roller derby, and I joined up, and it was just the highest I've ever felt. Tons of women, skating again. I hadn't picked up skates since I was a teenager, 13. So I played roller derby for a few years, about 7 years, and then I quit so that I could just focus on skating for fun, dance skating, ramp skating mostly. So skating in bowls and pools and ramps and skate parks. I live in Southern California, where there's a lot of skate parks there, so it's easy for us to go a couple times a week, just as much as I could dedicate to roller derby. So I just started focusing on this and having fun doing this. And then with some research online, I learned that there's other people roller skating like this that have still been doing it since the 70s, and I learned about Fink and Australia, like on the other side of the world, around the same time I started doing it. Just through roller derby and like teaching roller derby, I was able to travel and meet other people that are doing this.
I had some people that I knew started a TV show in the States. It's called Roller Jam, and they thought I would be good for the show. It was kind of scripted event, kind of like wrestling or, you know, sports entertainment. So that kind of got me into derby, and it was old school derby, bank track, on inlines, spandex, you know, crazy, you know, drama type stuff. So, you know, that kind of got me into derby. Then when the show ended, I moved back to Seattle because I was in Florida for the TV show, moved back to Seattle and started helping Rat City Roller Girls when they first came out, their first year of derby.
Rinks have had a very tough time doing anything for skaters to really continue after a certain age. It's hard, they walk away from rinks due to, you know, finding other things to take up their time. With that happening, derby's the next outlet, so people that have skated all their life, they can take that skill and put it into something competitive. You have people like Fink and others like that that are now doing the ramps on roller skates. I think that's going to grow a lot too. That's awesome. That's something I can't do. More power to them, and I'll watch it all day. So we'll find different ways, whether it be ramps, whether it be jam skating, whether it be derby. People love the feeling of skates on their feet. That won't ever change. We'll just find ways to evolve it and continue roller skating.
I quit gymnastics only like 2 or 3 years ago and started skating again. I needed an outlet, something to stay active and be athletic, and roller derby in Austin was the perfect opportunity since TXRD was the original, they were legends. I couldn't miss an opportunity to skate with such an awesome group of women. And then once I started skating derby, once I was in the skate scene, I realized that people were skating parks, and I don't know why I never thought of that. And skating parks is the perfect combination of like a zen, mental meditation, and an aggression. So it's like derby and gymnastics all thrown into one, and like spit into like this new social scene where you're like with all of these aggressive guys in the park. So it's just a really unique combination of incredible things that make me happy and excited and not bored, that's for sure. I don't ever want to be bored, and skating definitely helps that.
I draw a lot from early skateboarding. Like, stuff I do on the ramp is, I skate with skateboarders back home in my local ramp, and so I do, you know, put my hands on the coping and do strange little grinds like they did back in the days. Like, I just skate to have fun, so it's like, whatever my friends are doing, I'm there, you know. Even though I don't have friends, then I'll bring headphones.
It's good to see that people who came in and played derby are now finding other avenues to skate in, because when they learned how to skate, it was always, it's just derby, that's why we're skating. But now they're realizing that there are people that do jam skating and do rhythm skating, half pipe skating, and skate parks and street skating. So I think that's making it, you know, it's bringing the whole entire sport as roller skating, you know, back around in full force again. So, you know, hopefully it won't die off like it did with disco, the disco era. You know, it'll keep going. It's kind of like a lifestyle now. With the roller derby, the insurgence of regular roller skating as a whole has exploded, like, hugely. And roller derby actually saved the roller skating market itself.
Skateboard parks opened up in my neighborhood in 1976. I believe that was the year. And so I went there on my skateboard with all the other kids. And then I saw Fred Blood there. And he was on roller skates, and I was already a speed skater from the local roller rink. So I went there and started skating with him, and we just kind of developed our own thing together, doing it every day. It's awesome. It's the greatest thing I've ever done. I've been loving this sport since I was 13 years old, you know, and it's the best fun I've ever had, and I never felt better. If I'm having a bad day, go skating. When that's over, I feel great. If my body feels fatigued, sickly, sore, go skating. When that's over, I feel great.
So tell me a little bit about the skate park tour.
Alright, well, it started the second year of RollerCon. It just started out as an idea, a conversation between Trish and Ivana and myself. And it kind of over the years has grown into what you see here. The idea to see what skate parks were like, to get some cross training and just kind of get over that intimidation factor that skate parks seem to have. Based on what I've seen, it's getting bigger. There's more people that are getting into it, more people that are coming out. You know, as people have the resources available and just know that this is an option. You know, there's certainly more people here now than there were the first year. There's more every year. People come back. People go to their home cities and get their leagues involved and start going out and doing some cross training at the parks. And every year they come back and there's even more of them. It's a lifestyle. I mean, the people that are out here skating in skate parks and in derby too, in my experience, they're doing it out of love. You know, I've been seeing people take slams all night and just jumping right back up with a smile on their face. You know, this isn't something you do because somebody's forcing you or because you want to impress somebody. This is something you do because it's just plain fun. And you can see, if you're doing it to have a good time, you know. It's awful hard to not be smiling on a pair of roller skates.
Can we get ice cream?
A friend of mine came over from Australia and she took me to a park, literally just to have a little roll. I instantly fell in love with it, and she showed me Instagram and the Boxer Skate team, and I just wanted to do everything that they did. I was so inspired, and ever since I saw them and had a little go myself, I just wanted to get to the park anytime I can. Chicks and Balls has started when a friend of mine from Australia, the same girl that got me into park skating, came over and taught me how to do it. I got a bunch of girls from my league into it, and we used to go down to Victoria Park in Auckland, and my Aussie friend was like, "Oh, you Chicks and Balls look amazing," and I thought that it was a hilarious name, so as a joke I made a t-shirt for us. I started up a page so that we could tell each other when we were going out to park, so basically I could post up, "Hey, I'm going out to Vic Park, anyone want to come?" It sort of spread from there. We just posted up photos of us at the park, and then more and more people started to join, and then I just decided to chuck it up on Instagram and share and see if there were other people out there around the world that were doing it. And it turns out there are skaters all over the world, all over New Zealand, out in these parks, and it's just been such an inspiration seeing everyone not only just doing the basics like dropping in and turning around and little 180s and stalls, but some of the mad shit, sorry language, mad stuff that people get up to is just like blows my mind.
Skate parks have been a centre for skating communities ever since they began to appear all over the world, so it's no surprise that the community feeling has transferred over to the quad skaters in parks. So when groups of people come together because of a shared passion, incredible things happen. quad skating in parks is fairly new and we always get some strange looks, but the response is largely positive. Because what we do is different, and the fact that we do it with passion and respect, there is a space for quad skaters to flourish and be accepted in skate parks.
Be about 2 years that I've been making roller skates out of sneaker shoes. I had my own pair made for me about 2 years ago, and from that had to fix them up a bit, and so I pulled them apart and started to realise, hey man, I can do this myself. I don't need to ask other people to do this for me. I've got the tools, I've got the workshop, I can commit some time to learning the processes of making roller skates. Here's one of my first pairs of custom roller skates. Grind block, it's been mounted to the plate. Actually mounting the plate to the shoe, when you've got such a soft sole like the sneakers have, you can put this aluminium plate on the base of the shoe. I've also put one on the inside which helps to trap the bolt heads that are holding the plate. It's all a handmade process. I cut all the plates with some tin snips, tune them up on the grinder. There's a bit of trial and error in making sure you get your holes through everything in the right place, and then just dress it up with a bit of paint.
Skaters are resourceful, and if they aren't able to find what they need online or from skate shops, they'll make it. They'll craft it. They'll craft the hardware themselves. If they want to grind, they'll make grind blocks. If they want a certain look of skate boot, they'll find a way to make it happen.
Coming to Spain for like the first contest that I've ever heard of is so awesome. Like to have Fink from Australia and me from the US and like other friends that we picked up on the internet along the way, like all meeting for the first time is, even if we don't all speak the same language, like it's a language of the heart. Like we all understand each other. We all are obsessed with this. It feels good, and it's at like the grassroots level, which is so exciting because we're like learning, we're like discovering stuff on our own by ourselves, and then when we come together, we're just like feeding off of each other and, you know, mimicking other people's tricks, making them up as we go. Like there's really no, it's freestyle. It's like freestyle in its purest form.
You know, like it's, I could see a lot more people skating ramps, definitely. Like Spain recently for the first competition since 1991. Like we wouldn't be having a competition if it wasn't getting big again.
All right, so you were a professional rollerblader?
I was.
What brought you to roller skating?
I don't even know, just searching for new things. It's not really a new thing, just something that I used to do before. Like before rollerblading, I used to roller skate. Like I started roller skating when I was 2.5 years old, which was like 30 years ago. Then I did speed skating for like 12, 13 years, just on roller skates, and when inline skates started getting into the market, we started doing the transition from roller skates to rollerblades or speed skating, and that was the time I started also inline street skating. And I never even saw people using these on ramps or anything like that. And when I saw Michel's video, I was like, fuck yeah, I want to try that. That's it. Like 6 weeks ago, that's when I bought these blades and these wheels to put on my own skates.
So is there like, there's no other people in, where are you from?
Portugal.
Is there anybody else in Portugal?
Yeah, with this, not yet. Yeah. There's a lot of girls playing roller, but there's still no more guys roller skating. But I'm pretty sure there will be a lot more. Same with other countries in Europe, which is in Spain. I'm pretty sure a lot of rollerbladers will start roller skating just for the fun of it. Because there's so many more tricks you can do.
The International Game of Roller Skate was a Facebook group, and it was users all around the world myself, Estrogen, Colonel Panic, Lorenzo Chapman. A bunch of us got it started, got it rolling, and then you'd post a trick, somebody had to match the trick in a week, and they'd get a letter. So the first person to get each letter for skate or roller skate would be out. It was originally a way of connecting with everybody from around the world. Go to Spain, or I'd go to America, and I'd always have somebody to skate with, no matter where I was, just through this game. But it's back now, and it's going stronger than ever since, you know, Instagram and chicks in bowls kind of took off. More and more people have been skating skate parks. And with that, it's just kind of pushed it back into form again, and everybody's doing it.
As with any extreme aggressive sport, there are dangers of injuries, there's no denying that. Maybe it's the balance of this fear of falling and freedom, of being able to carve any way you want in a bowl or a ramp, that makes the feeling of park skating so addictive. For some, the passion may come and go in waves, for others it remains constant. Once you let it take hold, skating becomes part of your life. You let it consume you, or steer it in the direction that you want. The people you meet and the feelings involved with this sport are infectious. If you experience some form of happiness or personal elevation from skating, then chances are you're doing it right.
So how old are you?
I'm 13.
And how long have you been skating for?
I've been skating for 5 years.
What's your favourite thing to skate?
Ramps, definitely ramps.
Ramps?
Yeah.
How big are the ramps you usually skate?
Any sizes. Small sizes are good for practicing tricks, and big sizes are just fun to skate.
Yeah. Do you do any other kind of skating as well?
Yep, I play roller derby and I jam skate.
What do you like best about skating?
Everything. Just skating.
Ha ha ha!